Hello and welcome to another episode of Food as Fuck. My name is Zeke, and this week I'm sick. So because of that, we're going to be making instant ramen. So stick around and I'll show you how to make some sick ramen. Sick ramen, sick, and just play the intro. So if you guys remember my lazy ramen episode, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below the video, well, this is even lazier than that, if that is possible. Here's the deal. I am sick as fuck, I don't want to cook, but I'm not going to leave you guys hanging without an episode for the week, so this is what we are doing. And actually, this represents my real life, right? So I am a huge fan of instant ramen. My cupboard is never without some ramen somewhere, right? However, this is Food as Fuck, and you guys know that I'm not gonna be just adding hot water to this, and that's gonna be the end of it. So stick around, and I'm gonna show you how I eat a typical ramen dish, or a typical instant ramen dish. Ingredients first, and it's pretty obvious. So you're gonna need some ramen. This is just what I had in my cupboard. I have a few of just the same, so I didn't bring everything out. But I have this Korean ramen, which is pretty good, a little bit spicy. This is a little bit on the cheap ramen, which is always good to have. You never know those tough days when you need those 25-cent to 40-cent packets of ramen. This is another cheap one. I think this is from Walmart. Great value. That's Walmart's brand. So it's actually pretty not bad. I was surprised by this ramen. I'll admit to that. And the ramen that we're going to be using today, which is my absolute favorite, is the Oolong Men, which is I just love this stuff. Like I could eat this every day, right? I could eat this every day, and I'll be a happy man. So this is the ramen that we're using for today. We're going with the Oolong Men. You can obviously use whatever ramen or instant ramen that you guys like. Now, to make our ramen awesome without actually doing much effort, this is what I typically add when I don't want to do much. Now, we're gonna be needing some sesame seed oil. You need to have fat in your ramen if you wanna have good ramen. Any good ramen has fat, right? So sesame seed oil is the fat that we're gonna be adding to that. Now, usually depends on my mood, I go between hoisin sauce and oyster sauce. I'm in the mood for oyster sauce today, so that is what I'm using. So I'm going to be using some oyster sauce. And this is Mirin, which is, think of it as a Japanese cooking wine, or a sort of a sweet sake wine thing for cooking. And very, very tiny amount of the chicken broth, just to sort of just give it a little, right? And that's a cooking term. And of course, and this is the most important thing here today, an egg, right? So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with this egg. We're not gonna soft boil it, but oh man, this is what's gonna transform the entire ramen like you would not believe. So first things first, put your kettle on and boil your water. While the water is boiling, you are going to open up your ramen. And what I usually like to do is, I like to open up the packet for this particular ramen, and I sprinkle it on the edges, right? So just around the edges, and then I give it a good tap to get all that powder down the sides. Now, after that, you can start prepping with everything else. So as I said before, I'm gonna be adding a little bit of my chicken broth to this. I'm also gonna be adding the oyster sauce, my sesame seed oil, and the mirin. Now, after all that is done, all you have to do is wait for the water to boil. Hard stuff, I know. Once the water is boiled, you are almost done. So what I usually like to do is I like to pour in just a little bit of water. And I like to give it a little swirl just to sort of get things mixed up. After that, and this is the cool part, this is the part that is going to change this ramen for you. So crack an egg very gently on top of the ramen. Now it's ideal if you don't break it. After that, you are going to get your hot boiling water and you are going to very gently and very slowly sort of just pour the water over the egg whites. Try to stay away from the egg yolk because you don't want to break that and you don't really want to cook it all the way right now, right? It's going to take its time and cook, but you do want to turn the egg whites sort of into egg whites. Water up to here. Once that happens, I usually like to take a pair of chopsticks, and these are homemade chopsticks by yours truly. Thank you very much. And I like to break up, so very gently, again, very gently, try not to break the egg yolk, right? So I like to break up the egg whites, and that's because I don't want a big mass of egg white at the end. I want the eggs to be sort of little bits and pieces throughout the noodles. So I just do this swirly thing here for about a minute or a few seconds. And then once that is done, you cover your noodles and you don't touch them. You do not touch them for 4 minutes. Why 4 minutes? Because that's just the way that I do it and it works. So 4 minutes. After your 4 minutes are done, open up your lid. Make sure that the water is boiled again because you want hot water because you don't want this to lose its heat, right? So make sure that you have hot boiling water again and just very simply just top it off, break that egg yolk and just mix everything in and oh man, I tell you, the soup that comes out of this once you break that egg yolk in there is mind-blowing. You guys will not believe that this is like just instant ramen, right? So trust me on that. Break the egg yolk at this point and then cover it and leave it for another 3 minutes. Don't question the time, just leave it for 3 minutes. It'll be good, trust me. Once your 3 minutes are done, take that lid off, give it a good mix, and dig in. You deserved it. So earlier when I said that we never ran out of ramen at this house, as I was finishing filming up this video, Nori walks in and taste time! And let's see how this is. Ooh. And that is it, you guys, for this week's episode. I'm sorry for being sick, but I hope you like my instant ramen hack, and I hope you guys give it a try. I promise you that soup with the egg is going to blow your minds. So thank you so much again for watching my videos as usual. If you guys like what I do here and you enjoy this video, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, comment down below, and share the videos. It really helps me out a ton. I've been Ziek again, Food as Fuck, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. SHA POW!